It's already recording. Hey now, this is Sean, and I'm going to do a short video. I'm going to utilize the Rubik's Cube because it has everything to do with modeling. And what is modeling? Well, before I get into modeling, this is the original 3x3x3 Rubik's Cube, and it has just over 43 quintillion variations to it. And if you were to take it apart and put it back together, now you just increased it to 519 quintillion variations. If you were to rotate the cube once per second, it would take 1,400 trillion years before you exhausted every variation. Okay, so why are you telling me this, Sean? Because the cube can be a lot like life. We make good decisions. We make bad decisions. And through this, we gain experience. And hopefully we're learning from that experience. So, where am I going to go with this? All right, let's start here. You were born perfect, just like you originally saw this cube. And you, like I said, you make good decisions, you make bad decisions, and, you know, as we gain more experience, there's just times in life where, damn, you know, we're going through and all of a sudden we are right here. And we're like, shit, how do we get back to our original form? Or how do I get to my outcome? Well, there's a really cool subject, as I mentioned, called modeling. And modeling, what it does is it allows you to go out there and replicate exactly and specifically anyone's success strategy. So it can be, believe it or not, a strategy for happiness, a strategy for managing your time, a strategy, a motivation strategy, finding out, hey, what is my motivation strategy? What is it? You know, like one that I like, my mentor asked me once, and it bent my mind for quite a while, is he said, Sean, when do you know it's time to drink a glass of water? What? Anyway, so getting back to modeling is you can think of modeling like Tony Robbins said this, and he put it in a really good metaphor. And that is modeling is exactly like a recipe. So you can, two things happen with recipes. People will either utilize a recipe card and they get the specific ingredients, the specific measurements, and there's a specific process. And each time they produce consistent results. Well, there's other times, there's people out there using the recipe metaphor again, is they don't even use a recipe card. They just go in the kitchen, they're in state, they're fully associated, and they produce the same consistent result. Okay, that's called unconscious competency. So whether you're using a recipe card or not, metaphorically, there are ways to get the recipe. So let's say you want to find out, hey, what's my motivation strategy? Well, sometimes people want to know what their procrastination strategy is for good reason. Because once it's, think of it like this. When a magician does a kick-ass magic trick for you that you've never seen before, it can bend your fucking mind. And it will leave you with questions like, how did they do this? Well, let's just imagine, not that they would, but the magician sits down with you and says, look, here's exactly what I did, step by step. You will never look at that magic trick ever the same again, because whether he or anyone else does that magic trick, you'll be like, ah, I know how they did that. That's the power of modeling. So like I said, I'm going to be repetitious here because repetition is the mother of all habits. So whether you want to learn your happiness, your motivation strategy, or you want to manage your time more effectively, you want to have more consistent results with your internal dialogue with yourself, or communication with your children, or a loved one, or people at work, or maybe you want to take your business to another level. Any facet of human behavior is the whys that drive us, and equally important, how to quickly create change for long-term results that stand out. And you can do this all through modeling. So let's give an example. My father has now been in the investment industry for over 40 years. And obviously, he has made a lot of good decisions, bad decisions, and from that, massive experience. Well, I could sit down with him, or you or anyone could sit down, and with an hour or two, sit down and say, okay, tell me everything that you've gained from this. What's your recipe? And he would sit down and say, well, a little productivity note came up. What am I grateful for today? What else can I be grateful for? I like that. Anyway, he could sit down and say, look, here's my beliefs, here's my daily actions, and here's everything that I do to create this consistent recipe. So you can do it, once again, with managing your time, getting motivated. See, some people believe that certain things happen in their environment and it triggers an emotional state. That is true. However, once you learn how to manage your state prior to any task, and even better, you can influence your environments. That's a whole different game, and it's awesome. And it's not magic. It's not a big. It's once again, it's another process of modeling. So let's see. Well, anyway, I utilize this as a metaphor because others invested in me, and that would be my loving mother and father. And back in the mid-90s, I was diagnosed with, I was 95 actually, with bipolar disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, and attention deficit disorder. And back then, there wasn't a lot of understanding with what these labels meant. And because I trusted the certainty of the doctors, they told me that these were things that I would have to live with for a lifetime. I was taking 13 pills per day. And fast forwarding, that was 95, fast forwarding to the end of October 2010, I met somebody that I got to a point where I was like, this is fucked up. There's got to be something better. And I met somebody, and within just under 5 months, I was med-free. No more. I had taken no more pills. Now, I still had a lot of behavioral patterns that needed to be ironed out and understood, and I kept visiting him. Now, this was only one visit per week, okay? So that's massive. Anyway, that's when I found my passion, and I said, wow, you must mentor me. This is amazing. And so he mentored me. He introduced me to his mentor, and since then, I've had 8 other mentors. And so all I'm doing is teaching people what they're already doing. They're just not conscious of how to do it. So I'm not teaching anything new. I'm not creating anything new. But because my parents and others and Kelly and many others have invested in my personal growth, I am now contributing it forward. I created a company called Bonfires, IIF. The IIF stands for Investing It Forward. And I am now going out there helping anybody. I mean, its applications are very vast. So I can help peak performance coach for athletes. That is a lot of fun. I can help people with their internal dialogue so they are more effectively communicating with oneself. I can help relationships. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Currently, right now, I'm helping people with phobias. A lot of people think that's impossible. However, I utilize a 2-hour process where I'm using various tools, one of them being emotional needs psychology, and that creates change. Once again, they will never have that phobia again because of the process I utilize. Anyway, quick video, just wanted to utilize the Rubik's Cube as an example and introduce the subject called modeling. There is a way for anyone that wants to produce extremely fast results consistently. And there's a lot of people out there that have spent a lot of money, time, and frustration to get to the point where they are now producing consistent results. So anyway, that's a little piece on me and with the direction I'm going. I really look forward to meeting everybody. 2017 is going to be out fucking standing, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Have a great day, and I'll talk with you soon.